Welcome to the Labour Force. I am Bongene Mutua. Yesterday, we brought you the news that workers at South African Airways have applied for voluntary retrenchment and masse. Not being paid salaries for the last 4 months is said to be behind the unexpected move. Over 3,000 of the airline's 4,600 employees now want to leave the company. That includes more than half of management, over 600 pilots, 2/3 of cabin crew, and almost the entire ground staff. The question is, what does this mean for the future of SAA and the efforts currently underway to try and save the airline from collapse? To discuss this and other developments elsewhere in the aviation industry, we are joined by Mashudu Raphetha, the president of the National Transport Movement. Good afternoon, Mashudu.
Good afternoon, Bongeni, and good afternoon to the viewers out there.
Now, not so long ago, over the past few months, you as the unions have been fighting tooth and nail to try and save jobs at SAA to prevent retrenchments. Your colleagues at NUMSA and SACA even went to the Labour Court to try and stop SAA from retrenching workers. Suddenly, the majority of the workforce wants to leave. What happened?
Mogeni, I think the fact is that employees and or workers at South African Airways have suffered as a result of looting, corruption, and what has happened over the years. So COVID-19 exacerbated that situation. So most of workers are taking a decision based on the fact that they have to survive more than anything. I can assure you that most of workers there who have applied for the voluntary severance packages have not applied for the voluntary severance packages just because they wish to go, but they are seeing that they have to choose between the survival and also to wait for something that cannot come up. So for them, it's about their families, it's about meeting their financial obligations, and the number is overwhelming. So what we are currently doing as the trade unions is that we need to represent those who remain and get the best and ensure that they don't get the raw deal.
Now, obviously, we understand that even though the workers have applied for the voluntary severance packages, it doesn't mean that, first of all the applications are going to be approved by management. Also, money is still not available to pay for these VSPs. So there doesn't seem to be any benefit that the workers can look forward to in the near future.
Look, like I said to you, in fact, you are correct. Then out of the 3,142 people who have applied for those VSPs, 481 are likely to be declined based on the fact that 1,000 of those will be in the TLS and 1,000 will then start in the startup structures. But look, we are hoping that with the rumors that are going around that the president is going to declare or to move the economy or this COVID lockdown, which has cost a lot of jobs in the Republic, to level 2. We are hoping that we will be able to touch the skies. But with the aircrafts that we currently have, the fact is that we are just expecting that let's go back and reclaim what we used to have over the years. So we believe that those who are leaving have got specific skills. They will be able to come back because at the end of the day, aviation peaks quicker than any other industry.
Now, yesterday you met with management to begin the Section 189 process, which is obviously coming out of the business rescue process. What was the outcome of that meeting?
The outcome of that meeting, it was agreed that management of South African Airways will give us information pertaining to how many people were approved for VSPs, how many people were declined, how many people are we left with, because the purpose of Section 189 is to ensure that we, as union, we must ensure that no one is forcefully retrenched. So with the numbers that are there, it makes it easier for parties when they convene or reconvene on the 26th of August to know how many people are left so that we can engage on the issue of selection criteria. But as the National Transport Movement, our views are that we also need information pertaining to how many aircrafts are we going to keep and what type of aircrafts are we going to keep, as well as whether the new contracts of employment of the new airline, they must be tabulated. We need that on the table so that we can begin to negotiate and ensure that we try to keep the current benefits, if not which are conducive for people who would live and still continue with this airline. This airline is not dead. The airline will recover. So during the recovery process, those who would have remained must not be shortchanged of any amounts.
Now, for the rescue of SAA, the rescue plan to be effective, the Department of Public Enterprises has to chip in with around 10 billion rand. And of course, 2 billion rand of that will have to go towards the voluntary severance packages. But so far, the department still hasn't come up with the money. Is that not a worry for you as the unions?
We are very much worried, Mbongeni. We are very much worried because we were expecting that the money would have been availed by now. But we know that this money has got a lot of political talks to some political parties who have got no interest of the voters, people whom they canvass during time when they need votes. In particular, the Democratic Alliance. We are very disappointed that the DA has even waged a campaign to ensure that this money is not made available. But we are confident that Minister of Finance, Tito Mboweni, will be able to scratch somewhere and make sure that they make available that money, because that money, it's supposed to be there because the business rescue plan, it's adopted, it's approved and adopted, it's even binding on the shareholder and every creditor. So we know that as unions and as workers, we are part of creditors. There is money owed to employees. Those monies needed to be given to the employees. People cannot suffer, whereas we are hearing a lot of looting of the same COVID monies that were said to be given a priority. Yet we have got an airline that went into business rescue, and the Department of Public Enterprise, including is the representative of the shareholder, by the way, they supported the business rescue process. The business rescue process has been finalized. The plan is in place. It is only for them to ensure that, as a matter of agency, that funding must be made available so that people can find closure.
Well, Mashudu, unfortunately, we ran out of time. I still wanted to talk to you more about what's happening, for instance, at Come, the operators of Kulia.com. The company also is going through business rescue to find out how are the workers coping over there. But unfortunately, we have to leave it there for now. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, Sunday marks the 8th anniversary of the Marikana massacre, where 34 mine workers died at the hands of the police following a violent wildcat wage strike at a Lonmin platinum mine in Rustenburg in 2012. Trade Union AMCU will tomorrow hold a commemoration, and also the new owners of the Lonmin mines, Sibanye Stillwater, will also hold their own commemoration event. We'll bring you those virtual events right here on the SABC News channel tomorrow. Right now, Nastasia Arense is standing by to bring you the latest alternative investor. It's good afternoon from me.